Hi, third and fourth grade arrows. So for our writing lesson today, it's going to be short and sweet. We are going to choose a seed idea. And a seed idea is a story, a personal narrative that you think can grow into a beautiful story. So that's what we're focusing on today is choosing one idea for our personal narratives. So let's get started. So before you choose an idea, I would love to have another brainstorming session where we come up with at least 3 more personal narrative story ideas. So last week we focused on learning 2 strategies for finding ideas for true stories. And the first strategy was to think of a person that matters to you. So my person was my sister, Caitlin. And then we listed small moments that we had with that person. And we really focused on choosing a moment that was very specific but also not too big that we didn't have time to write the whole story. So remember, I started thinking, okay, I could write about our trip to Florida, but then I narrowed it down to one thing that happened in Florida, which was getting lost at Disneyland or at Disney World with my sister. So you really want to pick, 3 small moments that are specific and not too big. Then we chose one of those moments and we wrote the entire story. And then the following day, we talked about thinking of a place that matters to you. So instead of a person, we thought of a place. And instead of making just a list of small moments, we actually sketched out a map of that place. So I thought of Batchelor Middle School and I drew a map of the field. And as I was drawing things, I kept thinking, oh, I had a memory going down that hill sledding, or oh, that creek is where I used to walk my dog Daisy all the time. Or, oh, I used to go to football games in when it was really cold out in the fall and sit on the bleachers over there. So the second strategy was thinking of a place and then mapping those moments, choosing a moment and writing the entire story. So I want you to follow or pick one of these strategies. So pick either thinking of a person or a place. And I want you to follow the strategy, but I want you to stop halfway because you only are going to need to think of a person or a place and come up with small moment ideas. And then I want you to stop there. You do not need to choose one and write the story. So these bottom Post-it cards, you don't need to do those. Just stop at listing the small moments. And the purpose of you doing this is to just get more ideas for a personal narrative. Because right now we probably have, I think, 6 ideas, but I'd love to have 9 so that you have a bigger list to choose from. So you're welcome to pause the video now and do this brainstorming part, but I am going to continue talking about what to do after that. So at this point, you have created so many stories about your life. You've come up with story ideas that are true about things that have happened to you, and this is exactly what writers do. This is how they start writing personal narrative stories or fiction stories. And so writers don't just continue, coming up with ideas and stopping and writing a short story and then coming up with more and stopping and writing a short story. After they have done those things, then they go back and they think, which story sticks out to me? Which story do I think could be an amazing story? Which idea really inspires me? Or which one is the best one? And then they pick that idea and they focus all of their attention on it. And that's exactly what you're going to do with your personal narrative ideas. So what I want to teach you today is that writers choose one seed idea, a piece of writing that has the potential to grow into a beautiful story, and then they focus on writing just that story. So you have brainstormed all of these amazing ideas, but you're going to pick one that you think is the best. So today I'd like for you to look at all of the small moment story ideas you've come up with. You should have at least 9. And I also want you to reread the stories that you've written. And as you're doing those things, look for your favorite seed idea story and draw a star next to it. So if I had to pick from the ones I've talked about with you all, and I haven't come up with the 3 that I was supposed to do for today. So right now I'm only thinking of 6. But if I really had to pick one, I do think I'd pick the Disney World story because it's really fun and it's my favorite one to think about. So I would draw a star next to that idea in my notebook. And then I would go to the Friday Canvas page because there is an assignment that I want you to turn in today. So I'm going to switch gears and go to Canvas. So if you click home and then go to a Friday page, it could be third or fourth grade page, and then go to the narrative seed idea assignment, click on that. It has the steps for completing the brainstorming part of this lesson. And then down here, it includes drawing a star next to your favorite story idea. But this is what you're turning in on Canvas today. You're going to answer the questions below by typing your responses on this assignment. And the two questions you're answering are, what story idea did you choose to write about? So I would say, I chose to write about the time that my sister and I got lost at Disney World. And then the second question you need to answer is, why did you choose this idea over your other stories? So why is this story more important or the best option for you to write about? So I would say, I chose to write about this story over the other stories because it is the most fun to think about and I remember a lot from it. So I think I can include some really good details about what happened. And then you're going to submit that to this assignment. So although you have 3 things you need to do, you only need to turn in one thing on Canvas, and that's this part where you're doing step 4. The other 2 things are brainstorming 3 more ideas and then choosing an idea. And then the only thing, again, that you're submitting is answering those 2 questions. So I'm really excited to see what stories you pick, what story you pick for your seed idea. And I'm looking forward to starting next week, which is when we are going to start writing our personal narratives. So the very first writing session we have next week will be about creating a strong and captivating lead or hook to the beginning of our story. So by next week, you need to really have that seed idea chosen and be ready to get going writing it. So I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I hope you have a great weekend, writers. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.